Hello, friends. This is episode 191 of the Nope Coach podcast. I'm your host, Suzanne Culberg, and I don't know where we're going to go today. So, I don't nominally do trigger warnings. I don't actually believe in them because for what's triggering for one person, for another person is their day to day. Though I will say with this episode, I will be talking about grief and death and loss. So if you're not in a place right now where you can hold space for that, if it's not something that you want to tune into, by all means, hit stop now. Catch you on another episode. So my mum passed away in the last couple of days, and it was expected. She's been terminally ill for the last nearly 3 years. And yeah, I did consider pausing the show. I did consider taking a break. But I really believe that healing happens in community. And so often when things are tough or challenging, people withdraw and retreat. And if that feels healing for you, by all means do that. But what feels more healing for me is to share. So this episode is a tribute to my mum. My mum was never one who kept up with technology. She tried. She really tried, but she just didn't get it. I moved out of state in 2007. So I think I just turned 23. I moved to Queensland with my husband, Jeremy. We'd just gotten married. And I remember my mum trying to send me a text message, and she didn't quite grasp the concept. And basically it was 4 words to this day that I laugh about and we've laughed about as a family. It was, "I miss you, kredz." I don't even know how kredz came to be because autocorrect from already, like, how did it end up as kredz? Mind you, back then we had the phones that didn't have the keyboard, where you press the one letter, like you had the numbers and you had to keep pressing it until the letter came up. So I'm guessing that's how kredz came to be. But I find that funny because, Mum, I miss you, kredz. And I think that's the thing with grief. We don't know how it's going to hit us or when. And it's not just our emotions that we manage when we're going through grief, it's the emotions of those around us. And when someone is going through something, how do we best support them? I haven't, at the stage of recording this episode will come out tomorrow, but I haven't yet announced on my social media pages or platforms about my mum's passing. Some family members have. Some people have seen that and sent me a message, and I haven't responded to any of those. I've given them a heart, and I appreciate people reaching out, but it's a thing to navigate. What do you need in any moment? Not about performing or responding or what other people have going on, but what you need. And what feels good for me in this moment is remembering the good times and allowing myself the full gamut of feelings. Part of me feels relief, immense relief that my mum is now at peace. Part of me feels unsure. I will share this. I haven't yet told my children of my mum's passing. Some people might judge that, but my mum's been unwell for quite some time. We've said goodbye to her on many occasions. Obviously, this time it's the true goodbye. But my daughter is going to school camp. They just left this morning. And I knew if I told her, she wouldn't have gone. And she's been looking forward to this camp for ages. It's the first school camp. I remember, my time going away for the first time. And I knew if I told her, she wouldn't go. And it was funny this morning, I was second guessing my decision. I was like, maybe I should tell her. And I asked for a sign. And I went out for a walk. And as I was walking, on the ground was a tube of Minion toothpaste. And I knew that was a sign from my mum that I'd made the right choice. So my mum couldn't stand Minions. She absolutely hated them. And we had a joke, my kids and I, whenever we visited, we had this stuffed toy Minion. I think they called him Bob. And they'd hide him in my mum's bed, in her sock drawer, in her bathroom, on her couch. Like, my mum would be forever finding Bob and getting, you kids. And on our last visit home, when I took the kids home to say goodbye, which did for them end up being the last visit, I ended up visiting again. They bought my mum a tube of Minions toothpaste. And by that stage, she wasn't really there. Like, she declined. She didn't understand. She didn't get the joke. And I had to kind of explain to them it was all right. But it was funny that on this morning on my walk, the very brand, exact type, like how many types of Minions toothpaste are there, was there. And I knew that was a sign that I had made the right choice. So all this to say, there's no one right way to handle grief. And sometimes, I believe, especially in Western societies and cultures, we don't have celebrations of life or tributes or ceremonies so much. And we don't acknowledge this. And often grief can inadvertently turn to grievance. And I think that is something that bears acknowledging, that when we can't sit with or process or handle our own grief, we can externalize it and have that be grievance at somebody else. It can be grievance with the doctors for not finding the cancer earlier. It can be grievance with other family members for how they're handling their own situation. It can be grievance with, judgment from others. And just noticing where our grief turns to grievance, can be enough just to have that pause. And the final thing I want to say with a tribute to my mom is she was never particularly competitive, though she tried. And I am very, very competitive. And I remember one time we bought this card game called Wizard, and it's kind of funny because I did an episode about Wizard with my daughter Xanthi. If you check back, I can't remember what episode number that was. But the very first time I played Wizard, it was with my mum and my husband Jeremy. And in the final round of Wizard, it's a trick-taking game, and you've got to nominate how many tricks you'll win. There are 20 tricks available. And this is the first time we'd played it, and my mum bid 17. Now, when you have a wizard, a card that's a wizard, it's a guaranteed win. So both Jeremy and I thought to ourselves, wow, 17, Sue must have all 4 wizards. She did not. She went down in that round, epically so. And as a result of that, she got the nickname Kamikaze Sue. For those of you who don't know, I was named after my mum. She has the same name as me, so I'm Suzanne. She was Sue. And then once my daughter started learning Wizard, the nickname has moved on. My daughter's name is Xanthi. For whatever reason, her nickname is Zoo. So we've gone from having Kamikaze Sue to Kamikaze Zoo, because she makes ridiculous bids as well. And I guess just to, finish this episode, if you've tuned in and stayed with me, thank you. I appreciate that. I guess the other thing, with grief is asking for your needs to be met. What I would love, if you knew my mum and you want to send me a message, what was your favorite memory of her? If you didn't know my mum and you want to send me messages, there's no need to, but like a happy story of a family member in your life. It could be your mum, you could have your own card story, but I don't really want to receive messages of, just condolences, or sometimes people inadvertently send me stuff about when their own mum passed away and what happened, and I don't find that helpful. I know people are meaning well, but what I'd love to hear is a joyful memory, a tribute to somebody in your life, something that you remember that brings joy to you. That would be really useful, and I would find that very helpful. So, I've forgotten that it's November for the Nope Coach podcast. So I guess saying no to your needs not being met, like asking for your needs to be met and saying no to any way in which they're not, would be a great tip for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning into all the episodes that you join. And my invitation for you, anyone in your life that you love, give them a big hug today. Hold them that bit tighter. And yeah, this one's for you, Mum. I miss you, kredz.